Now, remember I said at the end of 2023, I was not buying any books until Christmas. Take a wild stab at how that went. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am showing you all of the books that I bought between the end of October 2023 and Christmas. I may have said that I was going on a book buying ban. I said that I wasn't going to go and buy a whole heap of brand new physical books, and that lasted about 3 or 4 weeks. I went away with my family and I always buy a book when I go to a new place. I just randomly found books that I really wanted to try out. So things did not go technically according to plan. But there are some books in here that are Christmas presents. There are some books in here that I bought for myself with Christmas money. So that kind of balances it out a little bit. First one up is Mile High by Liz Tomford. I will admit, this did not come on my radar at all until the Goodreads Choice Awards came out. This is the first book in the series, but I think the third book is the one that was actually in the Goodreads Choice Awards for 23. And I have seen a couple of people who have really loved this. I know that Rainy from Rainy Blue Reads, for example, really loved this book. I think she even gave it a 5-star rating. But I did not realize how big this book was. I thought it would be something like a 350, 400 page romp in the sun. It's almost 600 pages. So this is going to have to be a really sit down and put your mind to it book. But I'm excited to see how it goes. I think this is a hockey romance, and it obviously has something to do with planes, so I'm guessing one of the characters is a flight attendant or something. And I am excited to see if this one is going to work for me. Next up, I had to get a copy of Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. This was one of my most anticipated books and the book that I was most looking forward to for 2023. This is going to be the penultimate in the series. I think we have one more coming out towards the end of 24, start of 25. And I'm so excited to get reading this book. I am genuinely not ready to say goodbye to them, but I think that this one is bringing Nick into university and Charlie is left behind in sixth form. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a different vibe to this one than there had been for previous books. I'm going to speed through it. I usually speed through the Heartstopper books within an hour or 2 hours, so this one is just going to fly past. I'm so excited to get to it. Next up, I picked up a copy of The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I've seen a couple of people who have read this and really enjoyed it. I've even seen a couple of people whose reading tastes and mine don't usually overlap, like Kayla from Books with Lala. She really enjoyed this one. So when somebody who doesn't necessarily read the same things as I do reads a book that I would generally pick up and enjoys it, it kind of spurs me along to get to it. I'm going to keep this one until like October kind of time when things are starting to get a little bit more pumpkin-y than they are in January. But I'm really excited to get to this one. Next up is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I've heard of this so many times. And I was away at the end of November, and I always pick up a book when I go to a new place. So this was my new place, new book. I am so excited to get to this one. I know so many people who have genuinely really loved this. And I am really excited to see if I'm going to love it too. While I was away with my parents, I picked up First Down by Grace Riley. This is the first in a sports romance series, and I think it also has a hockey romance and a baseball romance. But this one is a football romance, and this is the first in the series, so I'm going to try and not buy all of the books in the series before trying it out, because I genuinely stood in that bookshop and had all 3 books in my hand. And then thought to myself, does this really make sense? Is this really the idea that you want to go down? What if you read the first book and you hate it? What if you read the first book and it's not for you and you DNF it? Then you've got 2 other books that you're never going to pick up. So I just went for one this time. I also picked up a copy of Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. This is genuinely going to help me out with the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge for this year, because I understand that Cleo in this book is 24 years old, and that's one of the prompts that we need to cross out. But I think this is also a kind of a May-December romance between Cleo and Frank, who are in their 20s and in their 40s and 50s. And I think they're living in New York and they're trying to make a go of their marriage when the world is kind of against them because of the massive age gap between the two of them. I have heard some really good things about this one. Amelia from Amelia Barlow Books told me to pick it up, so I am finally fulfilling her wishes. I also picked up a copy of My Hot Friend by Sophie White. I got this when I was at home over Christmas. I had a NetGalley copy of it, and I wanted to have a physical copy because I feel like if I was reading it physically, I might get a little bit more immersed into the story. It felt like the NetGalley copy that I had was just trudging along. There were a couple of formatting issues that were putting me off. There were a couple of spelling issues that were putting me off. So if I have a final copy that nothing is going to interrupt me, maybe on a reread I'll get on a lot better. I also picked up Good Material by Dolly Alderton. I know that Charr from Thoroughly Enjoyed Books, who has just come back to BookTube, she has got this on her January TBR, so I'm excited to see what I think of it compared to what she's going to think of it. She will probably finish this a lot quicker than I even get to it, but I'm really excited to see what I think of it. I love Dolly Alderton as a writer. I've really enjoyed everything I know about love, and I know that this is a non-fiction versus a fiction book, so you're kind of comparing apples and oranges a little bit, but I'm excited to see how it goes. I have already read this one, but I picked up a copy of Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring Blake just to finish out the series. The Brightfall series is one of my favourite romance trilogies. I've absolutely loved all three of the books, and I just wanted to have a copy of Iris Kelly to have for my own. I also picked up two books by the same author, so I picked up Love in the Time of Serial Killers and With Love from Cold World, both by Alicia Thompson. I was actually supposed to read With Love from Cold World as a buddy read with Lily from Literary Lily, and then November just grew legs and ran away from me, so I didn't actually get around to it. But she told me a little bit about the book. She told me the vibes that she had gotten from it. She told me it was a little bit spicier than she was expecting it to be. So once I heard those words, I kind of wanted to read it a little bit more than I had initially. So I went out, I picked up a copy of it because I had gotten a voucher from my dad as a Christmas present, and I just happened to find the other book that Alicia Thompson had written beside it, so I said, why not try both? My next pickup is a little bit more of a diversive one. Some people really loved this one. Some people are a little bit more on the fence. But I am going to give Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus a try. I am so excited to see how I feel about this one. I think Victoria, from what Victoria read, loved this when she read it last year. So I am pretty excited to see how I'm going to feel about it. I know that there is also a TV adaptation has just come out last year, but I don't have Apple TV. So if I even enjoy the book, maybe I'll have to try and find a way to find it. My brother and I went splits on a copy of Glutton by Ed Gamble. Ed Gamble is one of our favourite comedians. We have gone to see him live together. We listen to Off Menu when the guests are of interest to both of us. And we both really wanted to read this book. He has actually already read it, which is a sentence I never thought I would say because he's a quite slow reader. But he read it, he really enjoyed it, and he had it ready for me to come back to Brilliant after Christmas. So I am really excited to actually finally get this one read. Finally, in yet another try the first book in the series before buying all of them, I have picked up a copy of Twisted Love by Anna Huang. You might be a little bit surprised to see this one on my list because I don't read a whole lot of dark romances, but I'm willing to give it a try. I'm willing to see how this is going to go. I know a couple of people who have loved this one. I know a couple of people who also have it on their TBR. Let's see how I get along with it. Those are all of the books that I either treated myself to or was treated to over the last part of 2023. What book that you got as a gift for 2023 are you most looking forward to read? If you would love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave the shopping bags emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.